Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live Screen Action. I'm your host, Tiana Sirmans. Today, I have the talented actress Sway Bhatia, who plays Sofi in the new upcoming series, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Hi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very pumped up and ready for this interview.
Yes, so excited. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for joining me. So, The
Thank
Mighty Ducks Game Changers is a series based off of the 1992 film of the same name, but now we get to meet a new group of kids who love playing hockey but don't care about winning, just care about having fun. They fail to make the cut with the Mighty Ducks and decide to make their own team. You are a very athletic person and have a background in boxing and gymnastics. Your character is an amazing hockey player and even has to know how to ice skate. What training did you take to prepare for this role?
So I actually used to be a figure skater, so I had a little bit of help in that field. So we actually got trained by NHL players when we got to Vancouver. So we had 2 weeks of hockey training. So the whole cast got prepared for filming, and my character has lots of crazy stunts that she does, and she's a super athletic girl, like you mentioned. And I use my figure skating training as much as I can, but she had some really cool stuff that she did in games that her character played, and it was fun getting to play her because I got to do some fun stuff that I wouldn't ever think I would do.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, for sure.
But from doing this, do you think that playing hockey is something that you would want to add to the list of things that you do?
For sure. Yeah, I definitely want to start figure skating again if I can, but I think hockey would be cool to add.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a cool sport.
For sure.
So, as I mentioned, your character Sophie loves hockey, is really intelligent, and is always on task. Out of all the characteristics that Sophie has, which of them would you want to borrow for a day and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, besides her being smart, I think that's a really good thing. But I really like to borrow, honestly, her athletic abilities would be cool too. But I think her whole characteristic of being fierce and knowing what she wants, and even with all of her pressure she knows how to deal with it almost, and she kind of comes out of her shell throughout the series. So I think something I'd like to take from her is the way she deals with her life almost, and her fierceness.
Yeah, I definitely love that about your character too.
Thank you.
And as you mentioned, you were talking about, the pressure and how she's kind of coming out of her shell. A lot of what you kind of see in this film is like the parents or the coaches putting a lot of pressure on the kids, kind of wanting them to be perfect. So, what are your thoughts on, parents and coaches putting pressure on their kids to be perfect and winning sports and instead of being able to have fun?
Honestly, I think winning is fun and it's great, but it definitely shouldn't be something that's pressured on you. Something that I don't enjoy about my character, I guess she doesn't enjoy herself either, is that her parents putting pressure on her to go to Harvard and to get A pluses all the time and to always win and be rough in these games. And I think that's something the Mighty Ducks coach also pushes, which she doesn't really enjoy being on the team because all the players are rude as well, and they bully Evan when he gets kicked off of the team, and they're just real mean people in the games as well. Which I mean I don't enjoy that, and I really don't agree with the whole pressure deal. But some people believe that it's all about winning, but honestly, I think it's all about the passion.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with you. I mean, it's really, and without like giving too much away from the series, I mean, it's really crazy seeing how, as you mentioned, your character's parents wants her to get all A pluses, and I could imagine that would be a lot of pressure having to get all A pluses throughout school.
For sure. Honestly, if she gets like one A minus or something, she's grounded for the rest of her life. I think that's pretty crazy. People make mistakes sometimes, and that's just how it is. Honestly, I obviously don't get A pluses on everything. But I think that's something that shouldn't be pressured on you to always get A pluses. Obviously, it isn't great when you don't get an A plus, but it's okay to get an A minus or like a B plus. I really don't think you should like hurt yourself that much, or think about it too much if you mess up that one time. And especially for her, she messes up once, she's like done for the rest of her life. It's one mistake.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I really love the scene where the Don't Bothers team celebrate their loss after losing to the Mighty Ducks. What lesson do you hope that kids will learn from the scene?
Honestly, that's something that we were just like kind of just talking about, is that you achieve something, you should be able to celebrate that. You should be able to celebrate that with people discriminating you. I think that's something that I obviously don't like about the coach. He's like, look, they're celebrating their first goal. Of course you'd celebrate your first goal. It's such a big deal. I think that's something special about this new team, is that they celebrate funny things like this, but it's a big achievement, and that is something that you should celebrate. And I know he puts it in a wrong way. Our coach, they're celebrating a loss. It's not really a loss. It's a win. They got their first goal, and I think it's definitely a funny moment, but it's a good moment too. It's definitely going to empower people to celebrate things when they achieve something, even if it's something that small.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, it would just be like if someone else won a bunch of awards and you only got one thing. I mean, they're still celebrating because they still won and it makes them feel good inside.
For sure.
So, one big thing right now is representation and how much it matters, and it's Women's History Month. How important is it to be playing a pivotal role like this as an Indian girl, especially at a time where women with different ethnicities, like Vice President Kamala Harris, who is Asian American, are breaking barriers in our society?
Yeah, I think it's very important. Representation is such a big thing for the whole acting industry. Having somebody of my background who is the vice president, such a big part of our country, and I think she has this big public face, and that's super important, and it's impacted the whole acting community very much. And I think it's for people who are writing and directing things, and creating shows and movies, they have something in the back of their head where they're like, okay, I have to have somebody that looks like her, because you just need to show what the country is showing. And I think that's super important. And having Kamala Harris be the vice president, it's empowered girls of my age and my background to really go for what they achieve, what their passion is. And I think that's also something that's highlighted in our show. No matter what your background is, go for what you want to be. And that's something that even Max's character, who plays Nick, he's like, yeah, I never done hockey. I've never been looked on for hockey, but he went after his goal, and he made it. He's part of this team now, and I think all these characters represent that. And my character, she's already a hockey player, and you don't really see an Indian girl as a hockey player who's really good at it. So I think that's really important that they've highlighted in this show, and they've highlighted representation, and they did it really well.
So, I think it's really great having that representation.
For sure, yeah.
So, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers is a follow up to the Mighty Ducks collection. What surprises can the original fans and new fans expect from the new series?
I think what's amazing is that we have Emilio Estevez, who played Gordon Bombay in the original movie. Everybody on the cast is so honored, and we love the franchise. So getting to work with him is such an amazing experience. He's so inspiring, and everything he's done is he's a very welcoming person. He's definitely welcomed us all into the whole Mighty Ducks franchise, and he's just such a sweet person and so humble. And Lauren Graham, too, is such a humble person, and they always give us acting advice on how to really become and get into the shoes of your character and understand your character. And they're such great people to work with, and I love doing scenes with them. But the main thing you're going to see is there's definitely hockey. There's definitely going to be a new team, a new underdog team, and not as much quacking, but maybe we'll see that later on. And what I love about it is that what's different about it is that it really highlights kid life and teenage life, so a lot of kids will be able to relate.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, I'm kind of more of like the new fans because I have seen some of the other movies, but I think from watching this, I got, as I mentioned before, I got to watch like some of the episodes, and when I saw it was over, I was like, no, I want to keep watching it. So I'm definitely excited for more episodes.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the whole cast is so excited to see all of our months of work finally for the world to see. I think everybody's super excited, and we can't wait to see the final product.
Yep. Well, I'm super excited, and I hope that everybody goes and watches it. So, what message will the viewers walk away with after watching this series?
One message they're really going to take away is to go after your goals, and not only that, but if people bring you down, don't listen to them. And the whole concept of never giving up and bringing the underdog team to the championships is something that was highlighted in the original movies, and something that we try to highlight. The whole idea of highlighting the underdogs and celebrating things that are small, like that first goal. But for my character, I think it's all about representation for my character, and that somebody that looks like me can be an amazing hockey player and can win and can make 17 goals in one game. But a lot of people will be empowered by the show, and I hope I can be a role model for young girls, especially girls of color.
Well, you were definitely an inspiration to me. I mean, like I said, I loved the film. I loved your character. It is amazing, and I hope that everybody does get out and watch it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Sway, for joining me today.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
Yes, you too. Make sure to check out the Mighty Ducks Game Changers series, premiering March 26th on Disney Plus this year. That's all for this episode of Light Screen Action. Thanks for tuning in. Bye!